What's up, guys and gals, and welcome on back to Hearthstone. So I felt like playing a little bit more of the game, and it seemed like you guys were fairly enthusiastic about playing it. And so we're going to do a little bit more here at the Nerd Castle. They are still busy right now assembling that house that we had started in the last episode. We're up to 6 beds right now. One more building and we should be solid to go. They're climbing down into water in order... You could have built the ladder on this side, man. You guys don't have to take a bath every time you go in there. Although I would recommend it. These are stinky little hearthlings. They are smelly little medieval people. Can you imagine how bad people must... You must have had to be so nose-blind in medieval times. Like, you must not have been able to smell anything, because, like, people thought bathing made you sick back then. Like, that was common thought, is that bathing made you sick. However, we underestimate the aspects of medieval society. I watched a couple interesting documentaries on medieval society. Like, they had, like, these little moots, essentially. Like, they actually had fairly competent democracy inside the little villages that were ruled over by nobles on how they would handle things and how they would distribute things. They were very good at making things like beer and like cloth and textiles and things of that nature. Given the technology of the time, they were really good at producing certain things. And so while they were probably very smelly and very dirty a lot of the time, it's important not to culturally kind of hand wave the fact of the matter that they were probably pretty good at most of their jobs, which is easy to do because I think a lot of the time when you get movies and representations in media of medieval people, they're always like these dirty little stink turnip farmers that don't know anything about anything. But frankly, you can look at some of the architecture and whatnot from that time, and they were pretty good at what they do given the tools and logistics of the time. Like, the things available that they had back then, the fact that they were able to make some of the stuff that they did just by hand and sheer labor is fairly incredible. And I think that goes all the way back into antiquity as well. When you look at societies like the Egyptians and kind of the Persians and that kind of stuff, like, they did some pretty incredible stuff during those time periods, especially in the Middle East. Oh my God, medieval times in the Middle East was like a crazy renaissance. Like, they were doing all kinds of awesome modern stuff back then with like medical science and whatnot. They were way ahead of the curve. So our third house is almost done here. Our farmer has leveled up. That means she'll farm 10% faster. She gets this right here, the little speed up thing. Makes her a little bit faster to run around the fields and get stuff done. It may be almost time. When we get one more villager, I'll start promoting people who are going to do textiles and stuff like that. I'll probably put like a little single person house right here. All the single people, all the single people, all the single people, all the single people. Put their house up. Come on, put their house up. All right, so I'll put this like right here. And actually, their roofs might touch. And you don't want the roofs to touch, man. That means you don't have property rights. Gotta have your property rights. So there we go. Put like a little house right here. Just a little tiny house. And it's not because they're po. It's because, I don't know, maybe they're an ascetic. Maybe they don't care about having a really nice house. Maybe that's not what matters to them. What matters to them is friendship and also hugging. Double door is going to make this look a little bit nicer. We're not going to put windows on that side of the building because what do you need to look out a window on that side of the building for? It seems largely pointless to me. Is that lined up? That is not lined up. So we're going to shift it over to here. And we'll put in like 2, like so. Then we're going to dive in and let's put in some furniture. I would like you to just have 1 bed inside of here. Just 1 bed. We're going to make a guardhouse in a minute too. And also some crafting buildings to sort of solidify this area. We will put in a bureau right there. And then this house is going to be somewhat meager. We'll just put in a little table on this side. Anything to keep our crafter. Oh, look at that. He's made some fine wooden chairs. Good job. See, that's what I'm talking about, where they make masterwork chairs every now and again when they're making normal chairs. Cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. I would like it if they would add code to make the chairs face the table. I think that would be really cool. We'll just put in 2 right there because we don't really need a whole lot inside of that building. We'll go ahead and trigger that for building. There it is. That building is so triggered right now. That building is now done. That chair is kind of scooted back a little bit, so I'm going to tell it to move up by 1, and somebody should come along and fix that in just a moment. We'll go through, and this guy has no ladder, so what we need to do for him, since he's stuck underwater, is we can take a ladder right here, and what we can do is we can build a ladder right there. And they've given you a couple little crafty tools to get people out of spots if they get stuck and whatnot, which is actually something I really appreciate. I've had that problem in a lot of Civilization Manager games where people get stuck on ledges and things of that nature, and the ability to just magically conjure a ladder real fast and get them out of there, frankly, I think that's a really good solution. Some people might not like it because it's not like realistic or whatever, but for me personally, I find that to be, I'm the kind of person where I want things to move smoothly and I don't want to have to click through 1,000 tabs and mine 1,000 walls to save somebody from a mine. I just don't really feel like doing that. Some people find that to be part of the immersion experience of a game like this, and it's fun for them, but I am not that guy. So I like the fact that I can just conjure a ladder and be like, there you go, climb on out, and they're good to go. Somebody should come by and break down that ladder in just a minute. If they don't, then I guess we've got our own personal swimming pool for right now. Nothing else really to look forward to. Once you got a swimming pool, you're good to go in society. I'm going to have them one more time harvest out all these bushes to keep our food supply nice and rowdy. So there it is. They'll probably chop down another tree while they're in the process of doing that too. I think it's also a good idea that we start making our little goods depot back here. And once I make the goods depot, I'm actually going to put like a workstation over here. So I'm going to make like a crafter's hall right next to it so that they can run inside, they can grab the goods that they need in order to make stuff work. I think the best spot to put it is right here, and there is a tool that you can use. If you go to slice view right here, it makes building tunnels and things a little bit easier so that you can kind of view what's going on over here and you can dig through. If you're not using slice view, making tunnels can be a little bit precarious. This is also going to have the additive effect of allowing us access to maybe some stone. We don't have a lot of stone on this map right now, and the stone that we do have is in this big bunny shrine. Later on, I think this bunny shrine actually matters. It turns into there's like a bunny cult that will start in your city or something like that. I think that happens after you mine it or something like that. There's some stipulation, like if you mine the bunny shrine for stone, people end up becoming obsessed with it, and there's like this weird bunny Cthulhu thing that happens, or at least that seems like what's planned, given the way the characters start talking when you do stuff like that. And I know you can start with a trait that says cultist inside your city. And our daily update is here. That's actually really good. I sold all of our masterwork furniture to a merchant so we can make a little bit of gold. There it is. We get a new guy. So we've got Null Pounder. I don't know what a Null is, but apparently this guy pounds it. Let's see how good he is. How are you, Null Pounder? You are a pretty terrible character, so I'm probably going to leave you as a builder. This guy's pretty awful. He's got good body, but he's just not good at anything else, unfortunately. I think that their attributes are like a combination. So I think this right here makes spirit, this right here makes body, and this right here. He could be an okay warrior, I guess. He's just going to be kind of a coward. He's going to run away the first time things go sideways, which is not a good thing to inspire in your villagers. In fact, I might turn Null Pounder into a second... We don't need to, though, with these bushes right here. I can make him into a farmer, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. Let's take Dafflabam. We're going to turn Dafflabam into a warrior because we are going to start getting nastier attacks as time goes along. Then, after Dafflabam gets turned into a warrior, we're going to take Kami Fenton, and Kami Fenton is going to be our first tailor. And as I said, there are some invaders coming right now, and so you see both of our warriors kind of mashing their way through these enemies right now. With 2 warriors, you shouldn't have to worry about anything for like the first 10 or 11 days of gameplay. They should be able to whack these enemies pretty easily and get it taken care of. These guys have really good fight stats, so they should be able to handle things without any problems. In our slice view, how is this going? Well, they're getting the tunnel done. The nice thing about digging out these tunnels, too, is that we'll get a little supply of clay. You can see it stacked up right here. And clay is going to be really good for when we start doing pottery. We're going to need a pretty good supply of that, and given the fact that we didn't start out in the place that the other people start out in, the desert people, clay is going to be a little bit rarer for us. And so in general, we're going to want to stockpile it a little bit, and we're going to want to be a little bit stingy with it. But things are good right now. We've got a trader. If you make 4 mean beds, he'll give us a plushie toy. I don't really care about that. That's not something that I'm interested in doing. Let's get our benches done for our tailor. So we need some fibers in order to make a loom. Sounds good. We need a spinning wheel and some fibers. Or we need wood and some fibers to make a spinning wheel. And then we've also got a weaver's workbench, which is going to cost us a fiber. And it's also going to cost us, hey man, you got to have fiber. Gotta have fiber in your life, otherwise you just can't be regular. Pooping's great, man. You gotta be ready to poop at any moment. Gotta be ready to poop. It's part of life. Sometimes you just gotta value the important things. I wanted him to make a couple of shields. Let's go make a couple of shields for our warriors right there on our carpentry bench. He should run out and do that, and that'll raise their defense by about, actually 30%. Having a shield is really good. You want your guys to have a shield. We've picked up a little bit of stone from there. Not enough to where I would assume that we're going to be able to build a lot of buildings or anything like that. But what I generally try to do to keep things organized is buildings that people live in, I make them out of wood. Buildings that people work in, I make them out of stone. That way I can just quickly identify if I haven't played the game in like a week or so and be like, okay, my crafting building's over here, my living quarters are over here. Should be easy enough. Now that these are done, we do want to start assigning people to beds. And so for this right here, let's go ahead and assign a little guy to this. We're going to make that Arwen's bed. We're going to make this one Maggie Farstrider's bed. This one right here is going to be... Oop, I clicked the wrong thing. This one right here is going to be Noli Edessa's bed. This bed right here is going to be Gem Edessa's bed. This one right here is going to be Lenona Stroden's bed. These ones over here are going to be, we've almost got everybody, Kami Fenton. And then this one right here is Noel Pounder's bed. I don't know if I've assigned, are all my warriors assigned? Because I'm going to make them, Daphla Bam doesn't have a bed and Rowan Nonak doesn't have a bed, but that's because I'm going to make a guardhouse really shortly. A little place where they can share and kind of live inside of. It's also going to be the fallback point. We could place a safety flag if we want to a little bit later, just to keep our people safe. I will probably put my guardhouse right here. This looks pretty good to me. So let's get that started. The guardhouse, because this is a building that actually has a function, we're going to build it out of stone. This is essentially a trade building. So we'll go like this. We'll make this like we'll make 2 of them. So let me scoot these on over. The first foundation is going to be like right here. It's going to be a little, we'll call it a 10 by 10. Looks good to me. With the walls, I'm going to make them out of stone, and I'm going to keep that nice and tight right there. So, bam, there's our walls. And our roof, we are going to make that out of stone as well. And we're going to put castellations on this thing, because castellations are cool. Who doesn't love castellations? That'll signify that it's a guardhouse. Now it looks like a guardhouse. We'll put a little door on the front of it. It'll be like a reinforced door. And there we go. Doesn't need windows or anything like that. Our daily update, we've got enough food, but we don't have enough net worth. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Give it some time. Inside of here, we don't really need that much. It's going to be fairly meager. We'll go ahead and put down a bed right there. We'll put down like a little chest, and he can keep his gear inside of there. Aside from that, we'll give him like a little table right there. Does that need to be, I think I need to scoot that on back. There we go. Let me see if I can scoot this back by 1 cell. There we go. Put that right there so there's a little bit more room. Nonak has actually reached level 1 as a footman. That means he's going to hit 20% harder when he deals damage. Because I've done this, I'm going to finish editing. I'm going to save this as guardhouse because I'm going to make 2 of these. I'm going to put one on the opposite side of town. So we'll say save. There it is. Enter a name for this. It's going to be called guardhouse. There it is. And then we will say save it. And then we will build. Yes, start building. There we go. And then I'll probably put another one over here too. And then we'll assign those beds to both of our guardsmen. We will do, let me put another one in over here as soon as that's done. So I wanted to go like this. Does it put it in right here? It puts it in right here. So there it is. We've got our guardhouse. And I'm going to say to build another one. Where's the door on this thing? I need to be able to see the door. There it is. So with the door, we'll spin that around, and we will put another guardhouse like right here. Looks good to me. Finished editing. We'll go ahead and tell them to start building. Do your thing. Get us our little guardhouses built, and then I'll get back with you as soon as that is done. Our daily update is in, so let's take a look at that. And we've got enough for another immigrant. Nice. So we've got Chel Beltus, or Boltus. She's pretty good. She'll be a crafter. She'll never make like a good warrior. I mean, she's good at fighting until shit goes sideways, and then she's not going to be that good at it anymore. She keeps everyone at arm's length and helps them to not be hurt when tragedy occurs around, but she's always guarded and it makes her slow to make friends. Okay, I can respect that. It is what it is. They're trying to finish this off right here. I had to build custom ladders in here because they got stuck on the roof. It happens. That's one of the reasons why I'm so thankful that they have the ladder tool in this game. Because if they didn't, like, people get stuck on things all the time, and so you'd constantly be building other scaffoldings trying to get people up onto the roof and whatnot. Both of our guardhouses are basically looking finished off. Let me zoom out right there so you can see it. As soon as this is done over here, which it looks like it is, we will assign this to Rowan Nonak. There we go. If there's one person to keep happy in your society, it's probably the guy who protects your neck. And so there's Daphla Bam right there. The only person that now does not have a bed is going to be our dear friend. We need to put up another ladder over here. I think that's why they're not working on it. If I put up the ladders on that side, we should be good. Our food supply has begun to rot because people aren't using it very much. Let me see if I can get them back up onto the roof here to finish this job. There we go. They'll build that ladder. They haven't finished the castellations on that side because they can't access it. Nothing a ladder can't fix, and there they are. Now they're going back to work. Like I said, there are going to be little bugs in the building process in this game, and you're just going to have to work around them for right now because the game is in early access. Luckily, they've put tools into the game that make working around the problems you have very easy. Like, it's much simpler to work around them than it used to be when I played this game, because before we had to make like a stairway to go up there, then delete the stairway afterwards. It was just... you know, it could be a pain. It could be a real pain in the ass. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our crafting hall. But that's going to occur after we take this stuff over here. And let's go ahead and take a slice right here. And what I'd like to do is actually, I would really like to put in flooring right here if I can. If we could call this like a stone floor on this side, that'd be great. Make it look a little bit nicer in here. We'll also go with some wood. Yeah, and would you kindly, I think that'll look good right there. I think that'll look great. I think that looks fantastic. So finished editing, we'll go ahead and we'll build that right there. Yep, lock it on in. They'll go ahead and start placing some of the flooring right there, and this is going to be our storage room. I'm going to fill this up with crates and all kinds of other goodies just to make it look nice. We'll take that right there, and as you can see, they're tearing out the floors right now. That should supply us with a little bit of extra loot as well. We are running a tiny bit low on stone, and so the downside to that is that I think I'm going to have to send people out here. No, that is not what I want you to do. I want you to harvest that stone right there, that stone right there, that stone right there. Also get me some more flax from those plants on that side. And we'll get that stone. We just need a little bit more to complete some of the tasks that we have around because I notice our stockpile is getting a little bit empty. We'll also make a mine over here somewhere so that people can just mine their way through stuff. See how deep down into the earth we can go to find copper and things of that nature to make better weapons. Because as the enemies start to escalate, we are in turn going to want to escalate as well. They are discussing, I guess they're discussing the merits of brickwork or something. I don't really know. I'm going to sell off my fine furniture one more time if I have any. I don't have any, so that's okay. Nothing to worry about there. He's given us 5G for a pumpkin basket, actually. That's pretty good. That's not like a terrible amount. Let's go ahead and, yeah, let's make a little bit of money right there. Up to 143 gold, which is going to be inside of our chest right there. As far as I understand, that's what the enemies are raiding for and trying to get after. The next thing up that we need is a crafting hall. Let me turn off X-ray mode so that I can get a feel for where stuff is at here. I might actually just leave that at the back of the building. We'll put the building right here, and we'll have like a big door right there that goes into the warehouse area. That seems like a pretty cool idea. Let's see if we can get it to work. See if we can get it to work. So on the baseline, obviously we're going to need more stone. I'm going to go with like a... You know, I just like the gray. I like the gray cobbles. I like the gray cobbles a lot. And so we'll go something like that right there for our crafting hall. Looks good to me. We will take our walls. They are also going to be made of stone, so we'll go in like that. We will put a door on the back side right there. We'll put a door right here. Very cool. I think that's going to work out pretty well. That's what I'm looking for. Seems all right. As far as the roof goes, we'll just make that out of flat wood to make our lives easier. And I'm not really going to put any windows on it, in all honesty. Actually, no. We'll make the roof out of stone. Let's make it look a little bit more rustic. I think blue looks good. Let's go with blue. I like the way blue looks a lot, and so we'll finish editing right there, and we will build that on into place. Yep, start that building. And that should give them access to the little warehousing area back there, and at the same time, it gets our stockpile off the surface of the ground so that it's not quite so ugly sitting there. Now, that is going to cause some hauling issues for some of the people that are going to end up over here. It's going to make a logistical issue, but maybe we'll make like a little granary or something over on this side to kind of smooth over that problem. I don't know, stuff to think about. Other things that I haven't played around with so far is you can actually change the amount of overhang on the roof if you want. You can actually make a roof offset so that it leans to one side or the other side. You can make the roof taller or shorter by adding more of these little step formations if you wanted it to go up to the center. I just like the default roof, so I don't play around with it too much. But you can do that. You can mess with the overhang on different sides of the building if you wanted it to look slightly different. So modifying that out would make it go out by one block and down by one block if I remember correctly. So you can play around with it if you want. You can make fairly customizable buildings this way, especially considering you can place individual blocks. You can place individual walls if you want to. Lots of fun stuff that you can do inside of there. I'll take a look at my crafting menu for right now while they're doing that, and let's get our weaver to work. We haven't put down, actually, we haven't placed any of the crafting benches for her just yet. Let's place, I need to close this menu here. There we go. Let's place the carpenter's bench right here, so that he's got that available and he can start doing some more advanced crafts. I don't know if somebody's missing a bed right... What was she doing going inside that house right there? Oh, she's eating at the table. Okay, I was going to say, I don't know why she's up inside like the wrong person's house. She's running into somebody's house that she doesn't belong to. We've actually got another immigrant coming in because we actually banged that one out real fast. And so there's our next immigrant. The next thing we're going to want to think about is maybe making yet another house. And in fact, I might do it from one of these templates over here, one of these little small houses, and just stamp those out on this side. We're going to make it turn a corner, so our street's going to go down this way, then it's going to turn this way, and then we'll have it all filled in. Maybe I'll put some farming areas in back here. Something like that. I think that'll look pretty sweet. I think it'll look good. Something to fiddle around with. They're moving along with that building right there. I think we're going to run low on stone, though. Almost positive we're going to run low on stone on that side. So I may want to have a few more people kind of make a long run for stone on that side. And then if there's any rocks laying around over here, actually we've pretty much used up all of our stone. So we are going to have to start a pretty aggressive mining practice over here. And I would recommend we do that somewhat carefully. So let's go in like so. And I just kind of want to see how far into here we have to go before we hit stone. If we never hit stone, that's okay. I just want to see how far in that goes before it hits stone. We've got food rotting on this side. That's a good thing and a bad thing. That means we've got such a surplus that they've got no chance of eating it, but it's also a bad thing in the fact that, like, we're wasting food. I don't think we're going to be able to get a villager very soon, just because I think that's probably going to be our last guy that we're going to pull out of this one. They're finishing off the roof in the craft house right now. And so what we want to do now is we want to go to place furniture. And, oh, it's not going to let me do it until the building's done, I think. Or maybe, there we go. It'll let me do it if I put that down. So we'll put the loom right there. We will put the spinning wheel right there with the spindle. Don't prick your finger. You might go to sleep for a long time. We'll put that right there. And then alternatively, we'll take this guy. And we are going to move this over to here, just so it's all nice and organized. Perfect. We'll take this, and we will move it over to here. Good. And then once we get our stonemason supplies, we'll put those in here. Maybe I'll expand it out a little bit for pottery supplies and stuff like that. I just want everybody that works on a craft to be in one area so that it's nice and organized and next to a stockpile. Got a little bit of stone left. Is the building actually done right now? Is it all finished off? Oh, it is. Good. Fantastic. Now that we've got those placed, we can start our looming crafts. Something is looming in the distance. I'm actually going to have her make 14 of these. Get it done. Go ahead and loom those on up. That'll give us 14 thread. Once we have 14 thread, we can make bolts of cloth. We can make warm winter worker outfits. We can make all kinds of little things in here, although I think that takes furs, right? Oh, it takes wool. So we're going to have to do husbandry to get that done. But we also have an upgraded worker's outfit we can play around with. We've got spiky quivers, fire quivers. We can make tapestries to hang from the walls. We can make rugs. We can make little things like that with the weaver. But she just needs to start getting her XP up. She just needs to start getting better at weaving because she hasn't done anything yet. A simple merchant has showed up. And what do we have right now? We've got a door that's pretty nice that we can sell. Aside from that, we're not sitting on too many resources right now, so I wouldn't worry about it. I'll probably sell off like some of that right there just to make a little bit of gold. It's always a good idea to accumulate gold because you may at some point hit a spot in your game where you're like, I need this thing right now. There's no way I can create it on my own. So for example, if a clothier comes through right before winter and you haven't had a chance to get winter clothing yet, pretty good call. Actually, we didn't hit anything right there, so that's a bit of a bummer. I'm going to have to dig downwards, I think. I think I'm going to have to dig downwards. So let's mine out a little area right here. I think what I'm going to do is we will widen this ever so slightly, like so. And we're going to turn this into like a hall area where we start digging down into the earth. It's going to take quite a considerable ladder to get it done, but I think it should be okay. Why has nobody moved these crafting benches yet? I'm sure they're going to, but it's weird that it hasn't been done yet. Maybe it's just because they were so busy mining over here that no worker had time to do it. Also conceivable. Either way, we're out of time for the day. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for stopping in for Alpha 22 of Hearthstone. I will see you all later. Thank you for stopping on in. If you wanted to see more, I'll probably be playing it on stream at some point in the near future. I stream every single day at 3 p.m. Weekends are kind of my floater days, but Monday through Friday, you can find me at 3 p.m. at twitch.tv/SplatterCatGaming. If you like the indie games that I show off, support the developers down below in the description. If you like what I do, you can support me through Patreon if you really want to. YouTube's been weird with their demonetization stuff lately, and so with the apocalypse looming, try to be a little bit more proactive about letting people know about it. Either way, I'll see y'all later. Thank you for stopping on in. It's been a blast, a pleasure, and a privilege. Hi do, everybody. See you later.